with basically, Pratibha, when we speak of finances, there is always a stereotyping, okay, that you have a woman with a washing tub in her hand, piles of clothes, and children around, running around, and she has to look at food, things on the gas, the washing machine, and it's the man who plans for her the finances. Why is this still there? Why are women not the planners for their own finances, but the man? So the man can be first the father or the father-in-law or the husband, but not her.
So very true. So very true. We come across so many customers. Many of these women are earning. They're earning substantially. So many times, even better than the man. But they tend to outsource their needs for personal finance to the male member. Like you said, sometimes it's a husband, sometimes it's a son, but it's always outsourced. And sometimes when you put in the effort to involve them, sometimes the men do a tick mark activity. They're just there and they're not expected to contribute. And many times, very surprisingly, the women themselves take a back seat. I wonder why it is. And when you probe further, you see that they have some role models in their mind. If they have a previous generation, if they have a mother, who has not been very involved, sometimes I think it's imbibed in them that this is something which needs to be outsourced. And I cannot take active.
I'll stop you here. Don't they see the fathers in the family?
They do, but they've just segregated it, I guess, gender wise. And when you actually come to it, that when they're pushed against a wall, I've come across many women who are widowed, divorced. Okay, in such situations, it takes them hardly any time to master it. They take active interest in it and they do so well, and they're regretful. They're saying, why didn't I do it earlier? I didn't have to wait for such a situation. Why didn't I take interest earlier? Many times, despite being encouraged, they didn't bother to take interest in it.
So, do you think it is the family and the society pressure that works like this towards putting the women themselves in, these?
Yeah, into a box? Yes, I do think so. Unfortunately, there are a few women where the family is encouraging them, but they don't come forward and take initiative. But majority of the women, they are, they're made to feel like, you cannot understand the money, I can do it better, so why don't you let it be? And sometimes when they do come up with suggestions which are very smart, I must say, are kind of subdued and snubbed in a very, very mild way, and that actually pushes them backwards. So next time they think 3 times before coming out with even a suggestion.
When we speak of financial empowerment, now what you're saying, the suggestion and all, it's also ironical that the same women whose husbands are taking care of the finances will ensure that their cook or their maid, housemaid, for them, they start an independent bank account so that they invest. Why is when a woman shows a certain financial independence, it's seen with suspicion and it's seen as a betrayal?
It's come down generations, and it's people want to change. Like I was, the family groups, men who write very, quite upset about it, saying that women today are not taking active part in their finances. And I know these very men, they don't take their wives into consideration at all when they're taking a, huge decision like buying a house or investing. They don't take the, they don't take the opinion of the woman in their lives, and they want their daughters to be financially savvy. It doesn't happen like that. If you want your daughter to be financially savvy, one should set an example. If it's happened for so many years, I think it's time for us to wake up and make a difference. Also, when women come to us, and sometimes when I'm talking finances, they are very busy serving me with bhajia pakoda or some barfi. Some women do that, and I tell them, listen, if you don't take interest, you're setting a very wrong example for your daughter. She will follow in your footsteps. Do you want that? And it really makes a difference, because nobody wants that the daughters follow in the footsteps and are dependent on somebody else for the finances.
How do you think we can encourage not just women, but break this stereotype for men? Because often we see men are investing on behalf of women because it is financially, business-wise suitable, tax saving opportunity for the men. So how can we break this?
Number one, I'm saying if women cannot take decision, it does not matter. You're allowed to outsource to somebody else, but you cannot be clueless. You need to be aware of what's happening. Whether you work, whether you don't work, it doesn't matter. You need to understand the family finances. I think you can ask in whichever way that suits you. You can ask aggressively. You can be mild. You can do whatever, but you need to know what's happening to the family finances, what investments you have, what insurances you have. That's a starting point. Once a woman finds out, what situation she is, and she puts an effort. I've seen in all these workshops which we conduct. When we conduct a workshop with men and women, men come back, they take care of their personal finances. Women always come back and tell me, can you do a workshop for my children? I didn't know my sister-in-law, they're trying to empower, they're trying to enlarge the circles. Can we do another one for my set of friends and stuff like that? So once they at least understand their situation, understand their estate laws, understand where they stand in finances, I think that's a starting point, that can make a difference. You can't always wait that somebody will invite you to to be part of the discussion. Sometimes you need to grab the opportunity, sometimes firmly, sometimes very mildly, but one needs to grab the opportunity and say, no, I want to understand. Doesn't matter, I'll not contribute now, but let me at least be part of every single discussion. And they start contributing. In 1 or 2 years, people who make the effort are actually they grow by leaps and bounds, because they put in solid effort to learn from all this. And they call you not in a group, but they call you to ask questions which they think are very silly or stupid questions.